Hey guys, this is Mel, and I am back to talk about The Flash, more specifically the Season 5 spoilers revealed at San Diego Comic-Con this year on Saturday, July 21st, 2018. I am recording on August 7th, 2018, so it's been about 2 weeks, unfortunately, but I've been waiting for the panel video to come up and then find some time to sit down, so I'm finally able to talk about it. So huge spoiler if you don't want to know any spoilers about the upcoming season, kind of suggest you don't watch this video. Otherwise, be prepared. So I'm going to try to do this in 15 minutes. I'll talk about a bit about the sneak peek that they revealed at the panel, as well as just specific spoilers that were revealed at the panel only. So let's start the 15-minute clock, and let's begin with the sneak peek. So I just watched the video again last night with notes in mind. So we do get a lot of footage with Nora. So I'm assuming that it's either the first episode or maybe the second episode that they featured in the teaser, depending how far into filming they got before the panel took place 2 weeks ago. So there's that. So we get Nora expressing that her nickname is XS, which she got as a kid, assuming by Barry. We also find out that Nora is stuck in the present now and she needs help to find a way back home. We do see Nora marveling at some of the local places our characters usually go to. For example, Barry's crime lab. Also, she's seen at the Time Vault. We also see Iris being amazed by Nora being there, while Barry expresses his worry that Nora is with them instead of being with her parents 30 years into the future, while also he's worried that she might erase her own existence by staying in their timeline. He even used the Marty McFly reference for that, which is true. Also, we see Barry confronting Nora about her hiding something from him, and she looks worried to tell him. Apparently, she apologized for it, and he's determined to not have it get any worse than it already has after she tells him what she's hiding. We also do see some problems happening about a plane about to crash. We do see Kid Flash fighting on that plane, so it'll be interesting to see how he got on the plane. Did he phase through as he ran to get into it, or what? So there's that. We do see the introduction of the Flash ring from Nora, her backup to the suit, I guess, that she gives to Barry. So there's that. We also see at the very end a masked man entering an apartment that is showing a news broadcast of the Flash saving the city in 423. So there's that. We also see the masked man putting this metal piece down in the shape of a lightning bolt, and then it suddenly gets heated up. So either the metal gets heated that causes it to light up, or he's stealing electricity that heats up the metal itself. I don't know, but all you see are these electricity pieces coming from other sources before it comes into the lightning bolt piece. So there's that. So moving on to the panel specifically, thanks to a YouTube channel, Daniel Alvarez, who posted the full panel. So thankfully, I could pick out for myself what were relevant spoilers that they gave out. So thank you for that. I'll put a link for that video down below as well. But those in attendance of the panel were showrunner Todd Helbing, as well as cast members Grant Gustin, Candice Patton, Tom Cavanaugh, Carlos Valdez, Danielle Panabaker, and newcomers to the panel, Hartley Sawyer, Danielle Nicolette, and Jessica Parker Kennedy. As you know by the characters, Barry, Iris, Wells, Cisco, Caitlin, Ralph, Cecile, and the new Nora Allen. So there is that. So what they revealed about Season 5 in this panel was the season villain is going to be Cicadia, being played by Chris Klein. In the comics, he's apparently a mysterious cult leader that's obsessed with the Flash. That was dropped on us by the MC, Leanne Aguilera. So thanks for that. But Todd did clarify that their TV version of Cicadia is not a cult leader, but his powers pose a problem for Team Flash like never before, which I will speculate in the predictions. But they did talk about the Flash ring as well. They also mentioned not only do they get the Flash ring, but we do see a costume upgrade, which is kind of a bit more comic influenced or comic book influence, I should say. So there's that. We do also learn a little bit more about Nora Allen from the future. We find out that because of her appearance, the three members of the West Allen family, Barry, Iris, and Nora, all are in different headspaces in regards to her presence. So I guess in the trailer we kind of saw that headspace, at least with Barry and Iris. But they did talk about the fact that Nora is clingy to Barry, more like attached to the hip, yet she's distant when it comes to Iris, and no one knows why she is that with Barry and Iris. And because of this distance, that has Iris worried about whether or not something happened to her in the future, or if it's kind of like history repeating itself, since Iris's own mother left her, so it's kind of like that as well. We also get confirmed that Nora's nickname is XS, with in mind the purple speedster jacket that Iris wore for the episode she was a speedster. So there's that. They did talk about the fact that Danielle Pennebaker is going to make her directorial debut this season. I also checked which one, and that is apparently episode 518. So there's that. They did talk a bit about what the experience could be and what she hopes for. Also, since Tom Cavanaugh also directed a few episodes, he kind of gave some advice. He is also directing another episode, which I will talk about in a moment. So there's that. But speaking of Tom Cavanaugh, he was asked which version of Wells we're going to be seeing this season. Apparently, we're going to be a newer Wells, an intelligent Wells, yet not quite sure if you should trust him. But he is going to be playing a Sherlock Holmes, and that's different spelling. So that'll be interesting to see there. But he did also kind of imply that we might see some familiar versions of Wells returning again. So maybe we'll see Harry Wells from Earth 2 again, or maybe we might see the Council of Welleses coming back. So maybe. I don't know. They only name drop Sherlock Wells, though. So there's that. They did talk about the fact that there will be a bromance between Cisco and Ralph. More specifically, since Cisco is dealing with his breakup with Gypsy, they might forge a bromance with Ralph, trying to get Cisco to embrace his singlehood again or something. I don't know. Possibly. But they did bring up new baby Jenna. They did talk about how her arrival is going to cause a few adjustments, not only with parents Joe and Cecile, but also with the rest of Team Flash. And then it's also going to show what it's like for Joe and Cecile to be working parents the second time around with baby Jenna. So it'll be interesting for that. But in regards to powers for Cisco and Caitlin, with Cisco, they talked about how his vibes will be more challenged like never before. And then with Caitlin, we see her trying to figure out the origin of Killer Frost. They did say that we will see Killer Frost again. We just don't know when and where. But they did confirm that Caitlin did not get Killer Frost or her abilities from the particle accelerator explosion, which we kind of already figured due to that flashback we had of her having it as a child long before that explosion happened. So we're going to get more answers in regard to why Killer Frost came to be. And there are predictions that I will share about that I have heard. So there's that. In regards to careers, though, they did make a point of saying that Iris will return as a journalist. Finally, I've been waiting for that. We do see Barry getting his job back as a CSI, so I'm very glad to hear that as well. But then we also see Ralph be tapping in more to the detective side of things, not just being a private investigator, but going more towards, I guess, kind of like his old roots, but in a different way. Or was he a detective before, or just a cop? Was that still kind of the same thing in this case? Not sure, but anyways, we got those 3 career moves right there. They did talk about the 100th episode, which is set to be episode 508, which is being directed by Tom Cavanaugh. As I mentioned, he is set to direct that one. They did state that, I think I got this correct, but it is supposed to be the mid-season finale, which is supposed to, like the ending of 508, is supposed to lead into the crossover episode, which is supposed to be 509, I believe. So there's that. But because they were talking about the 100th episode, they did have the cast remembering back to the earlier days of the pilot and like what that felt like type of thing. So there's that. Also, they did put showrunner Todd through kind of a lightning round of questions where he did reveal that there will be lots of deaths this season. Maybe a main character, maybe not. He didn't really specify, but he did say lots of deaths. We will see a new LGBTQ character. Didn't say much more about that. I wonder if that's still supposed to, or if that's like a completely brand new character they haven't talked about it all yet, or if it's supposed to be referencing to what's happening on Arrow. But hopefully it's a newer one, so there's that. They did talk about the theme being legacy and about the characters thinking about what it means to leave behind after they're gone. So there's that. They did talk about any more meta villains, being the fact that we're going to see the younger versions of the Rogues, so that'll be interesting too. Not sure if is it actually like flashback version meaning younger, or like an actual reinvention of the Rogues just being younger. So that'll be interesting there. They did talk about the fact, well, it was brought up the fact that many people wanted an Arrow-free vow renewal for Barry and Iris due to what happened in the Crisis crossover event. And Todd said they could make it happen, so it's not off the table. But I guess a lot of people did not like the fact that it was a double wedding. I mean, I'm one of them. Just the timing was just completely off for it to be a double wedding. So I'd be all for it, but it had to be an anniversary of sorts for West Allen for sure. And then they did talk about two fan favorite villains being King Shark and Gorilla Grodd. If anything, they hope to have them back again in the second half of the season. It really depends on money for them, which makes sense because you need major special effects for those two villains. So there's that. And then they moved on to the fan questions. Now for fan questions, someone brought up about whether Nora had created her own flashpoint. And Todd said that it's not quite her own flashpoint, but it did create a lot of ripples that will affect the season. So there's that. And then another fan had brought up specifically the Speed Force symbols that we saw Barry writing after his escape from the Speed Force, Nora writing in her journal, and then with Harry writing them out before he lost his intelligence due to the Enlightenment. And it said that specifically that language was supposed to tie in to help get Harry his memory back, but it will return again to explain or to tie in a little bit more with Nora's story. So that is something right there. But otherwise, that's pretty much all the spoilers I picked up from the panel, but let's talk about my predictions for it. So let's go back to the very top. What did I predict? Okay, so when it comes to Cicadia, they said that while he's not a cult leader, his powers pose a problem for Team Flash like never before. Now, I think his power might be to take away electricity. Because you know how, from the way if he is the masked man in the teaser trailer, if he is Cicadia, and the way that his powers moved, it looked to me like he was stealing electricity. Very similar to how in the original Fantastic Four movie with Dr. Doom, how he absorbed electricity and used it against him, or used it against his the Fantastic Four group, and like the way that was happening, that kind of gives me a Cicadia vibe, especially after I saw that portion of the trailer. So I'm wondering if Cicadia does have the power to take away electricity. I'm wondering if that could affect Barry significantly because of the lightning and his speed. Like, he does generate a lightning, which it is resembling electricity, right? So I'm wondering if that could interfere with Barry's powers in some way. It's definitely going to be something like never before. And it could pose a problem if he could easily interfere with their main hero's power. So I'm wondering if that's kind of like what his power is going to be like. So there is that. When it comes to Nora, especially her dynamic between Barry and Iris, I've seen a lot of theories about this throughout the season, especially when people started calling her their daughter from the future since the crossover wedding. But a lot of people were stating, and I kind of am starting to see it, but Nora being clinging to Barry could be the fact that, well, initially Barry was supposed to die in that explosion in 423. And then she had reversed time, and intervened by helping him with that explosion, so like saving his life. So it was easily stated that Barry was supposed to die. He wasn't supposed to survive that explosion. So that could explain why Nora is clinging to Barry, because her father died. But if that's the case, if he was meant to die at that moment, that means Iris would have to already be pregnant and not know about it, and Nora is that child. So there is that. Otherwise, Barry must have died. He must be dead in Nora's future. Like, there has to be a reason why she's clinging to him. And maybe her distance with Iris is because she told her not to go back in time, or like she kind of told her many things she wasn't supposed to do when Nora believed that she could to save her father, if that's the case. I don't know, but maybe that could be why there's tension between the two ladies. So that could be one reason there. But what else? Okay, baby Jenna, though. I really want to know if she will still have telepathy, because why else would Cecile have that metahuman power during her pregnancy if it's not tied into the baby whatsoever? So I'm really hoping for that, and if that's the case, I'm wondering how that's going to be a little tricky, raising a telepathic baby. Or a good or bad thing, really depends. But if it is, I really want to see how that's done. So there's that. Also, moving on to Killer Frost and Caitlin, I really think it has to tie in with her father. I did read somewhere that we are going to see her father again. So I'm wondering if he's the tie-in as to why she even has Killer Frost. Maybe he has his own Killer Frost in him too, and that's kind of where Caitlin inherited it, that aspect. So I can't wait to get that backstory, and I can't wait to get Killer Frost back, because I was really liking that they were starting to communicate with each other and starting to learn to cohabitate with each other. So I'm excited for that there. But otherwise, nothing else really comes out to mind, though. But what do you guys think of the spoilers revealed at the panel? What do you guys think is going to happen in the upcoming season? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and opinions about all that. Also, if you want, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. Go check it out. I do have to update it. I am behind. I'm fully aware of that. I have to find that balance once again. But otherwise, WordPress account, link for that is down below. Everything I post online is connected through that website. It's more organized, but it does need to be updated once again. I do need like maybe a full weekend to just binge update everything. So be on the lookout for that. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you come back in October to see what I have to say about the season premiere, and then at the end of that video, I'll reveal what I'm going to do about the season of The Flash in regards to my videos. So with that said, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you come back, see what I have to say. I probably said it already. I'm already blanking. But this is Mel, wishing you all a great day, great week wherever you are, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer. Bye.